They showed a lot of Blake Lively's evidence, but they showed nothing from Justin Baldoni's side. Hi and welcome to Flaa Talk. I'm Kjersti Flaa, and here on my channel I talk about my good and bad experiences in Hollywood and working as an entertainment reporter. So I got so many DMs yesterday asking me if I had seen 60 Minutes Australia. They did like a short documentary, I think it was 18 minutes long, about the feud between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, and a lot of people had very strong opinions about it, and I totally get it. I watched it myself, and I have to say that it seemed so messy. First of all, I was like, what is the angle of this documentary or segment, whatever? And also, I have to say the host was so annoying. I'm sorry, but I just felt like he was such a poser that it was more about his like movie star look.
Two stars, supposed on-screen lovers, who are now well and truly off-screen haters.
But anyways, so they did have, I think, 4 sources in the segment. One of them was a woman. She's called Talia Spencer. She was actually working with Justin Baldoni on It Ends With Us, and she had nothing but good things to say about Justin Baldoni.
In my opinion, I find it very hard to believe the allegations against him.
And the host asked her, did you ever feel uncomfortable around Justin Baldoni? And she said no.
I would say I felt more comfortable being around Justin than a lot of film directors in my experience.
Then there was an interview with the Hollywood Reporter. His name is Peter Kiefer, and he wrote that article that actually Blake Lively hated and came after and said it was really a sexist piece that he had written about her, when he talked about how Justin Baldoni's faith played a big part in on set during the filming. Yeah, I guess he didn't really add anything new to it. But then they interviewed a publicist and PR expert, and he said something that made me laugh.
As a publicist and being a PR professional for over 20 years, I'm a huge believer of ethics.
A publicist and a PR person who's a big believer of ethics. Yeah, that I just found it funny. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like not something that it's the first thing I think about when I think about a publicist or a PR person. Their job is to make someone look good even though they're not. And to me, that's not always that honest, but whatever. So they basically concluded that there was a PR smear campaign. They showed a lot of Blake Lively's evidence, but they showed nothing from Justin Baldoni's side. It was just like Blake Lively accused him of this and that and showed the text messages that was in the New York Times, but they didn't show anything of Justin Baldoni's response to all those claims. So then they interviewed this guy who's an expert in like troll farms, and he definitely believed that there was something suspicious going on and that there was a smear campaign. He said that you can do this to anyone, which made me believe, like, why didn't this happen to anyone before? If you can do this to anyone, I'm sure there are people out there with interest of burying someone completely if it's easy to do that. So he said that it probably started with bots saying horrible things about Blake Lively, and then it got picked up and it spread organically.
Now that's the whole goal of this, is to start off with something that's artificial and hopefully it grows to be organic.
I don't know why bots would start saying negative things about her, because all of us could see the way she was behaving on the press tour and blah, blah, blah. We talked about that so much. It's not like we as an audience couldn't see what was happening and what she was saying, and we didn't agree with what she was saying, and people started talking about it on social media. And I think my interview with her, it's such a good example of something that happened organically. Well, in the 60 Minutes piece, it really concludes with the fact that this was a smear campaign. Like this guy is saying that it's impossible that it wasn't, and they didn't interview anyone who said anything otherwise. So they just had like one-sided, except that one person in the beginning who worked with Justin Baldoni who said she couldn't believe any of this to be true. They were just interviewing other people who supported Blake Lively's claims. They also showed or aired a part of Justin Baldoni's voice memo, the one that leaked when he called her at 2 a.m. in the morning. And they just showed that with no context. They didn't explain what it was. They didn't explain anything about the email she had sent him with, you know, I can call my dragons, whatever. That was just completely left out of this documentary, this segment. Yeah, it was just such a narrow-minded piece of journalism. I was really shocked. And then I started reading the comments underneath it, and everyone was like, what is this? What was this? Did you do no research on the other side of this? It's like all you talk to people who believes Blake Lively. And I think even this one guy, the publicist that was interviewed, he said something that I thought was definitely aimed at Blake Lively, but then they edited it so it looked like it was aimed at Justin Baldoni. I don't know what you think about this.
When you are faced with a crisis, if you did it or anything remotely to it, the biggest thing you can do and the most accepting thing in the court of public opinion is to own up to it.
Baldoni claims the PR plan was never put into action.
Yeah, he's saying that, you know, if you make a mistake, you have to own up to it. That's like the first thing in PR. And then they start showing Justin Baldoni. I'm sure that he said that. I don't know, but I feel like he should have said that about Blake Lively and not about Justin Baldoni. What mistakes did Justin Baldoni make? Why wasn't there a legal expert interviewed in this scenario? It is just like such a weak segment when you watch this, and if you didn't know about this scandal or this feud and you watch this, you definitely believe that there was a smear campaign and that Justin Baldoni went after her and that his publicist made all of this bad press happen. So yeah, completely biased like all the other documentaries we've seen so far. As you know, I've been a part of 3 of them, and yeah, I can't help what they do with the angles of these things, even though I'm a part of it. At least I'm trying to go out there and say what I feel and what I think happened and what part I played in this, because they really wanted me to have played a big part in the smear campaign, but sorry, didn't. It was all organic. Another story that caught my attention this weekend, I don't know if you guys are big White Lotus fans. I loved the show so much, and I fell completely in love with Aimee Lou Wood. She's the one who plays Walter Goggins' girlfriend in the show, and I don't know if you saw on Saturday, SNL made fun of her. They did it with a White Lotus spoof with political characters. They were like aiming it at Trump family. And the only person who wasn't political was Aimee.
Like, what if we took all the fluoride out of the drinking water? But what would that do to people's teeth?
Fluoride? What's that? Oh, look, a monkey.
And I just felt so sad for her. The thing is, what was so mean about this joke, although I did laugh when I saw it, but then I felt bad afterwards, was because they were making fun of her teeth and her big eyes. And when I thought about it afterwards, I was like, why are we making fun of basically one of the few women out there that actually looks natural? They're not making fun of all these other women with Botox and fillers everywhere that looks really the same, more or less, a lot of them. I have to say, for me now, watching someone like Nicole Kidman, it's hard for me to watch her on screen because I feel her face is just doesn't move anymore. And when you watch an actress, you want to see a face moving. And I think Aimee is just so beautiful. And when I watched her in White Lotus, I was obsessed with her. I did, of course, notice her teeth. And I have to admit, I did Google if they were real, like a lot of people did.
Vanity Fair, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And they wrote about your teeth.
Yes.
Which is, it sounds like a small thing, but
Yeah.
you've obviously made an enormous number of people happy by not changing your teeth, which are you know, they're notable.
They are.
Like my bent nose.
Yes.
But
I mean, I can't believe the impact my teeth are having. Because the Americans can't believe... But they're all being lovely.
But the sad thing about this is that Aimee was really hurt by the joke on SNL. She came out and said that, you know, that it wasn't funny. She did a long Instagram story talking about how she felt and it wasn't funny at all. And she's also said that SNL had reached out to her and to say they were sorry about it. She has been asked about her teeth a lot, which I think is kind of like, I don't know, I would consider that a little bit rude to ask her about her teeth. Like, she's like, I'm British. A lot of British people have bad teeth. That is true, actually. But she was just surprised that people were so obsessed with her teeth. And I get it. But I think this is a great thing that, you know, she's being so open about just staying natural. She also talked about not doing any Botox or fillers and just staying natural to be a good actress. And I really applaud that, because I think today it's really sad to see so many beautiful women out there that do so much to their face that they're almost unrecognizable. And I think everyone should do what they want to do that they feel comfortable with. But it just like, it doesn't make people look younger. It just makes people look a little weird, if you ask me. There's also rumors that there is a feud between Aimee Lou Wood and Walton Goggins, which I find so strange. She seems so cute. And I met Walton Goggins a few times. He is lovely. I really enjoyed interviewing him. He's such a nice guy.
You know, when you're younger and you have the luxury before having a child to kind of wallow in the misery of the people that you're playing. But yeah, I'm the father of a 7-year-old, so when I get home, I get hit in the head with a Nerf gun. And so it's like, I walk in the door and it's like, ow! Oh my God!
So funny and bubbly and sweet, and so it's just weird to me that they have a feud, but apparently they stopped following each other on Instagram and they stopped tagging each other in things. So I don't know what happened there. I know that they looked like they were really close by the pictures that they posted before. So who knows? I'm not gonna speculate, but that's one of the feuds that apparently happened on this set. And there's another one which is kind of juicy as well. So the composer of the film has come out and said he doesn't want to work with Mike White, the creator of the show, anymore. He said that, you know, that Mike White didn't want to listen to him when he gave him the best songs that he composed. And the thing is, we're not really used to seeing feuds like this out in the open, which I think is quite refreshing, I have to say. I love that he came out and talked about this, and he said, you know, I don't want to work on the show again. And then Mike White came out and said that it was so unnecessary of him to do this in public. But I think there's some big egos involved here. Also Jason Isaac, who I love his part in this show as well. So in an interview, he explained what it was like to work on the show. And he said that it was like a cross between summer camp and Lord of the Flies, but in a gilded cage. It wasn't a holiday. Some people got very close. There were friendships that were made and friendships that were lost. All the things you would imagine with a group of people unanchored from their home lives on the other side of the world, in the intense pressure cooker of their working environment with eye-melting heat and insects and late nights. So yeah, I think a lot of stuff was going on the set of White Lotus. And I love that people are talking about it. It's been so long since people were actually talking about a TV show with so much enthusiasm. I feel like it's so rare that I actually watch something that I like, especially that's made in Hollywood or like US produced shows. I feel like there's so many cliches out there, and this with White Lotus you get like real characters. You feel like these people are real humans and you never know what's gonna happen, and I think that's so rare. And I love the way that they cast this. I love the music in it, the composer. I love how it's so unpredictable and all the themes in it. It's so like relatable in many ways, although it isn't, but it still is. It's about being human. And yeah, I hope we get more shows like this. Anyways, that's it from you guys. I hope you are enjoying this week, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And yes, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode of Flaa and Talk. And yeah, I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.